Welcome, friends, to Jason Shurka's Land of Make Believe. Yeah, that was a little ridiculous, but so were the claims of one Jason Shurka. So, greetings and salutations, and welcome to the show. We previously covered Jason Shurka, sort of an intro piece on Gaia's new hot property, right? He's been on Cosmic Disclosure with Emery Smith, though recently uh, people have reported that Emery Smith called him a complete and total fraud and did not want to interview him. Interesting behind the scenes drama going on over at Cosmic Disclosure. He's been on George Snorri's show, Beyond Belief, because his stories are certainly beyond belief. What we get with Jason Shurka essentially is, and this is my take on it, I'm entitled to my opinion, we get a rich, entitled child who grew up the son of millionaires. And I suppose, like many of these rich, entitled children, grew up to be a rich, entitled man who somehow thinks that he's entitled to all this money, power, fame, glory. But when you dig into his so-called accomplishments, I mean, he's bragging in a post to me. I'm sorry, not necessarily in a post to me, but this man brags that he rose to the level of vice president of a multi-million-dollar company. He just forgets to tell you that the company was founded, owned, and operated by his father. So I'm sorry, Jason Shurka, if I'm not impressed that you somehow overcome every obstacle in your life, right, and rose to the level of vice president of your daddy's company. Great. What are the odds that would have happened? What are the chances that would have happened? How hard you must have worked to become the vice president of your rich millionaire daddy's company, right? But my point is that, like David Wilcock, son of rich, entitled people, Jason Shurka, I suppose, is like David Wilcock. He got bored in life one day and decided he was going to be the savior of the human race because he is now in contact with the TLS, the light system, a super secret society, right? Now, after our previous coverage, he wrote me this big, long thing and insulted me for wearing glasses. By the way, I'm not going to take them off, but just know, Mr. Shurka, that I do have a paralyzed eye. And that's why I wear glasses, for medical reasons. And really, I suppose I have to admit, I wear them for visual appearance as well. Because the problem when you have a paralyzed eye, especially when you're on camera, is that I could have my paralyzed eye looking this way and my good eye looking at the camera. It's very distracting, you know. And to be clear and entirely upfront and honest, I'm very self-conscious about like giving people the evil eye when I don't mean to, right? So I wear the glasses. You'll have to forgive me. After all, you're a love and light spiritual guru, and I'm sure that you would not make fun of somebody's personal deformity, Mr. Love and Light, or somebody's, medical mishap that resulted in a deformity, right? A physical deformity. And maybe that lesson taught you that you shouldn't be so quick to judge people, Mr. Love and Light, right? So, in fairness as well, he corrected some things in his big long post he ran. I had various people tell me that he's denied being Jewish or Israeli. In the post, he clearly states, I am a Jewish male. So I apologize for maybe misreporting those, let's call them allegations that people made against him. So he sort of challenged me to, educate myself and do more research. And that's a terrible thing for you to do, Jason Shurka. It's not a good idea to tell me to do more research on you. right? This is not going to go well for you, telling me to do more research on you. But I did. And I got a chance, I got to tell you, I got a chance to listen to the audio version of his book, The Pyramid Code. And first of all, I gave very little. I try to not be so skeptical when I listen to it. Right? I said, all right, I'm going to put aside my skepticism, see if there's anything of value in this book. But what we get essentially is a book that was written by somebody else, not Jason. Jason didn't write the book, right? So he gets this degree of separation. He didn't write the book. Somebody else wrote the book and then gave it to him to disseminate to the world. And who is it that wrote the book? Well, if you follow the Jason Shurka's Land of Make-Believe through this book, it's somebody that has been reincarnated 69 times and has recall. Well, there's a lot of inconsistencies in the Pyramid Code book. First of all, the person writing the book says, I don't remember some of my lives with clarity, just bits and pieces. But then throughout the entire book, this person who wrote the book and has been reincarnated 69 times is giving perfect recall of events from past lives, including dates in both, in both calendars, which I felt was, an attempt to confuse people. After all, this book, I don't know, for the first hour or two, the person writing the book is recounting stories basically from ancient Israel and ancient Egypt, right? They were a magician, they were a high priest. The book also claims that all of the Egyptian pharaohs were aliens. Yeah. And I would just say to Jason Shurka, that's so easily proven false, completely and totally false. After all, how many pharaohs' mummies are in museums? We could take DNA samples and see that the pharaohs were entirely human. There's nothing strange about their DNA. Yeah, some of the Egyptian mummies, a few of them, do have some particular anomalies, like, large heads. But this could have been cranial boarding, right? Just an aesthetic change of the human skull for whatever purpose. To separate themselves as the royalty. Doesn't prove they're aliens, but this book claims that all the Egyptian pharaohs were aliens, but then they interbred with the regular people, and so their superpowers diminished, right? But there was still some purebred of these pharaoh aliens. Oh, it's a great story. I think that Mr. Shurka smoked too much pot and watched too much Stargate and came up with this book. That's my personal opinion, and I am entitled to it. But the rest of the Pyramid Code stuff is just it's fairy tales. It's fairy tales. There's not a shred of evidentiary support in any for any of the stories throughout the entire book. There's no, and I have to hold my analysis because I want to listen to the whole thing one more time and make notes. Unfortunately, I was driving in a vehicle while I was listening to this, and kind of muttering to myself, even while I was trying not to be skeptical. Well, this is stupid, right? Why am I spending 3 hours of my life listening to this, right? I really should have listened to the David Bowie album, right? I could have listened to 4, maybe 5 David Bowie albums in the time that it took me to listen to this garbage. And I am absolutely certain that a David Bowie album, listening to 5 David Bowie albums would enhance my life much more than listening to this gobbledygook garbage from a new age guru. I mean, first of all, to believe anything that Jason is saying about this pyramid code, first we have to believe that he was contacted by a super secret organization with 7,000 people in it, and they have access to incredible technology and all of these things, and there may be aliens that are members of this organization, right? That's where they get all this technology from. And out of everybody on earth, they picked Jason Shurka, bored rich guy, to disseminate their information and their mission, right? And what is their mission? To raise the consciousness of humanity. I mean, it doesn't get any more vague than that. What does that even mean, Jason? What does raising the consciousness mean? That's the stated purpose of the organization, to raise consciousness? Okay, pretty vague, right? But no, Jason Shurka, in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, he's not just some rich, bored kid, right? That has no goals in his life. He's made goals. He's going to save the earth. Jason Shurka is going to save the earth and raise consciousness. And better than that, Jason Shurka and his super secret organization are going to save the mole children. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, him and his super secret society are going down there in the tunnels under Washington, D.C., and they're going to save those mole children. And they're going to get that adrenochrome and dump it over so those rich, powerful elite can't drink the adrenochrome. They're going to take away their resources, their gold, their silver, their diamonds. Sure they are. Sure they are. So, welcome to Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. He's the savior of Earth, contacted by a super secret society to be their messenger, right? And apparently their message is, we need some money. Because Jason Shurka's got multiple paywalls. And if you want to know the truth about the aliens, bro, get behind my paywall. But here's what I found. Behind his paywall, he's broadcasting interviews with people like Judy Mikovits, right? The discredited scientist that was banned from YouTube for spreading completely and totally false medical information. Let's see, who else is he interviewing behind his paywall? Folks, I have an autistic son. Jason Shurka is interviewing a woman who wrote a book, an author. Let's just call her an author. I don't even want to mention her name because I don't want anybody to find her and think that she's at all credible or try the things that she suggests that you should try to reverse autism. Jason Shurka is interviewing a woman behind a paywall who tells people that you can cure autism with camel milk and essential oils. Welcome to Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, where you too, if you have a child or someone in your family or a friend or anybody or you yourself are suffering from the effects of autism, all you got to do is drink some camel milk and get some essential oils, and you'll completely and totally reverse autism. Folks, this is Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. He can reverse autism. He and his guests are going to tell you can reverse autism with camel milk and essential oils. No, I don't think so, Jason Shurka. And I brought this point up in a reply on a previous video, and he had no answer for it. Actually, he offered me help with finding holistic help for my son. It's kind of funny because the first post was real, like, not really nasty, yeah, kind of nasty. and my reply was, do you really believe that you can, reverse autism with camel milk and essential oils? He didn't answer that, except to say, you and I disagree, but I could get you help with holistic healing. Let me tell you something, Jason Shurka. I don't go to people like you for medical advice for my autistic son. That would be stupid and childish and delusional for me to go to somebody like you. So, if Jason Shurka is behind a paywall, allowing people to tell his audience that you can reverse autism with camel milk and essential oils, pardon me if I don't really want any medical help or assistance or, referrals from a man who would believe that. But we're in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, where anything is possible, where you can reverse autism, right? Where you can live to be hundreds of years old, right? With the right medical technology, right? Yeah. This is Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, friends. And we're diving in, because not only is Jason Shurka telling, his guests telling people you can reverse or cure autism, he's also him and his organization are going to save the mole children trapped in those tunnels under Washington, D.C., right? It's Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, where he is some kind of secret agent, and he's going on secret missions, or his friends are, and then he is he is the mouthpiece. He is the spokesperson. So Jason Shurka is now going to come out and tell us what's going on with those secret missions from his super secret society that's going to save those mole children that are trapped in cages under Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Welcome, friends. Welcome to Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. All right, I have to put up my fair use banner. We're going to share this video. Wow, I can't, every once in a while we find one of these guys and it is a treasure trove of bullshittery. And Jason Shurka is so far one of the best treasure troves of bullshit I have found. Okay, so he told me to do more research. All right, Jason Shurka, you asked for this, bro. You asked for this, so we're gonna do more research live, right? Oh, wait a minute. One second. Oh, okay. There's a certain order. I have them all up here. Yes. I have them all up here. Bear with me, friends. All right. The first one is titled TLS Mission Update, Washington, D.C. And it's important to note that before this, he was posting other stuff about secret missions his secret society is involved with in Israel and other places. Boy, great. It's like bad fan fiction of a bad science fiction movie. It really is. But we're going to share this. It's called TLS Mission Update, Washington, D.C. And here Jason Shurka tell us all about the super secret missions that are going to be taking place. This is back in December. December 31st, I think. Yes. So, but interesting. Fair use. We're going to share this video, but we're educating the public about the ridiculous land of make-believe that Jason Shurka lives in. Okay, friends. You know what? 1 second. Let's try this one more time. Bear with me, friends. Boy, do I need a producer. Okay, now we are good. So, welcome to Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, friends, where he's got a super secret society, and they're going to save the mole children. Oh, this is wonderful.
I'm making this video because I've been permitted to provide you all with a mission update regarding TLS, the underground tunnel system, freeing the children, and an upcoming operation in Washington, D.C. Ever since the ambush that TLS experienced on September 21st of 2020, things have been pretty quiet, but that's all about to change. Over the past few months, the people operating this evil underground tunnel system have moved many of their resources to Washington, D.C. They've done so because many of their underground hubs around the world have successfully been infiltrated and destroyed by TLS.
Wow, the light system destroyed the Cabal's bases, man, and they had to retreat. This is good stuff, Jason Shurka. Wait, could you show us pictures of those bases, that you destroyed, your super secret agent organization here destroyed? Can we see pictures? Did you take video of you destroying those places? Is there news reports of buildings being destroyed, or can you show us any evidence? No, of course you can't show us any evidence of this shit he's talking about, because this is Jason Shurka's land of make-believe.
Sometime around the end of January, beginning of February, TLS will begin their next operation in Washington, D.C. They're waiting until after the inauguration to begin. I suppose that exact details and dates are not being provided at this point in order to avoid another ambush. If everything goes as planned, the operation should last until the end of March, and by the beginning of April, things should settle down. Please be aware that all of this is happening underground. On the surface, Washington may be seeing shutdowns, demonstrations, protests, which will all act as a decoy to distract the general public and others while these missions are going on underground.
Oh, wow. Okay. So now we have an explanation for why nobody can see the kids in the cages and the super secret operation being run by Jason's super secret society. It's because it's happening underground. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, the bases are always supposed to be underground, right? The DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. That's historically in conspiracy land lore where they keep the mole children. You know, the children in cages that they torture and harvest for the adrenochrome. You know, that Hillary Clinton drinks, right?
I'd like to conclude with a very important message regarding President Donald Trump. President Trump is on the good side.
Donald Trump is a good guy. Just for those keeping score, okay?
He's doing what he can to help, which is a part of the reason why they, and I say they without naming names on purpose, it's part of the reason why they are trying to remove him by any means necessary.
Yeah, and this is just an absolutely ridiculous statement because think about the bombastic character Donald Trump. If Donald Trump knew that there was kids in cages being kept in tunnels under Washington, D.C., do you think he could really keep his mouth shut about that and let Jason's super secret organization go in there and rescue those children? Of course not. And by the way, this is another just flawed logic, stupid thing that Jason Shurka didn't think about. But here's something to ponder, right? Here is something to ponder. Jason Shurka is on the internet December 31st of last year, and he's saying that there are children being kept underground in underground bases against their will in Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Okay. Did you call the police, Jason? Did you call the feds, maybe? I don't know. You know, if you're some kind of spiritual guru and that you know children are being kept in cages and tortured in some underground base somewhere, and wouldn't you have a moral and ethical responsibility to do more than make an internet video claiming your super secret society is going to rescue those children? But here we are. It's the land of make-believe of Jason Shurka. You don't have to call the police if you know where kids are being kept in cages and tortured. You just start a super secret mission to rescue the children without involving law enforcement or the federal authorities or anybody like that. Sure you do. Sure, that's the way the world really works. Well, that's the way the world works in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe because that's what he did. That's what he did. He didn't call the police. Knowing where the kids are kept in cages, he did not call the police, right? He just waited for his super secret society to go in there and rescue those mole children. Sure.
He is not, and never was, a part of this evil system of corruption, control, and greed. This isn't about...
Donald Trump is not corrupt or greedy. Sure. Does he even realize any of Donald Trump's history? Is he so uneducated on Donald Trump's history? I would think, being from New York, he's fully aware of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's track record of corruption and greed. But he's going to say Donald Trump is not part of the corruption or the greed system in America. Right. Sure.
Democrat or Republican. This was never about Democrat or Republican. The two-party system that we think we live by is an illusion to keep us suppressed, to keep us controlled, and to keep we the people distracted. This is about control,
I agree, bro.
suppression, power, corruption, greed. This is about controlling the masses, controlling the people, controlling us. The system is much darker and more complex than many of us can even begin to comprehend. But we're in a critical time of change. I'm grateful to be able to share these messages with all of you in the first place, to show you and to tell you that there are good forces upon us. There are good forces making change.
Yeah, Jason Shurka is one of the good guys. Him and his secret society are going to save those mole children from those cages and those underground bases, right? Because we're in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, and he's not just some bored rich guy, right? He's important. He's saving children from being kidnapped and held against their will and tortured and harvested for adrenochrome in secret underground bases under Washington, D.C. Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. Yeah, and he knows all about the super secret missions, right? And he's going to tell us about the super secret missions. Hey, Jason, you live in New York. I live outside of Philadelphia. It's a short, it's not short. It's a ride to Washington, D.C., but why don't you meet me there? And you could show me these deep underground military bases or these tunnels where you say that your super secret organization is going to go into and save those children. I mean, obviously, your organization has to know where the tunnels are if they're going to go in there and save the children, so they can tell you where the tunnels are, and you and me can visit them. We'll take pictures. I'll bring a camera crew, right? Yeah. What are the odds that he's going to do that? Yeah, he could. He could drive right to Washington, D.C. I'll buy you lunch, Jason. I'll buy you a beer, whatever you want, right? You can show me where the tunnels are, and you can show me where the cages that the children were kept are, right?
There are forces working to not only dissolve the evil in the world, but to help awaken humanity and make this world a better place, a world that we deserve to live in. So, thank you for listening. As always, I look forward to sharing more information with you as time progresses. And thank you for being here. Thank you for making a change.
Well, there we go, friends. Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. And that was the December video. But I got good news. I got good news for everybody. And that is that he posted an update after that. More recent update. This one is from April 16th, 2021. And he's got good news about all those children that his secret organization was going to rescue from their cages, right? He's got good news for us. So again, we're going to cite fair use. We're educating the public. We are critiquing the video being shared, and we are educating the public about Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. Oh, let's do that one more time. Sorry, friends. Someday I'll learn how to work this thing, right? Some computer science guy I am, right? I can barely work StreamYard. I will say in my defense, they don't make it easy sometimes. Okay, fair use, friends. And by the way, I'm not sure the other video was monetized, but this video where he talks about the mole children being rescued from, the cabal by his secret organization, they rescued all the children in Washington, D.C. and Maryland, is monetized. So he's making money for this fairy tale from Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. He's making money telling people this garbage. This is garbage, Jason. This is bad science fiction, fan fiction at best. But he's a spiritual guru. He's woke. He's going to save Earth. You're going to save Earth by telling fake stories on the internet and monetizing them? Clickbait garbage? Okay. Good luck saving Earth, Jason.
The last TLS mission update I was given was released on January 31st, 2021, regarding the underground tunnel operations happening in Washington, D.C. and Maryland. I would like to preface this update with the fact that as of recently, TLS has been keeping their work on the quiet side due to the nature of their missions and operations. With that being said, the following information is what I have been permitted to share for the time being, in order to give closure in regards to the missions and operations spoken about on the 31st of January. I am happy to share that both TLS operations in Washington, D.C., as well as Maryland, have been executed and completed.
Great. That's great news. His secret organization executed secret missions in secret tunnels that nobody else can see or have access to. Because we're in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. He's not some bored rich kid. He's important. He's involved in secret missions involving children. Okay.
Successfully, and have officially come to an end as of the end of March. As I briefly mentioned in the update on January 31st of 2021, although the focus of the operation was not primarily focused on the children, since there aren't too many in the tunnels underneath Washington, D.C. and Maryland, they did successfully free many of them throughout these missions. However, I have not been...
Great. I'd like a list of all the children so that I can cross-check all the children that you rescued with, like missing persons reports or police reports about them being abducted or being missing. Because Jason Shurka is so stupid, he didn't stop to ponder this point. If there are children kept in cages under Washington, D.C., they had to come from somewhere. The usual conspiracy lore is that they're trafficked or sex trafficked from other countries and things like that. But there would still be some form of paper trail. And you could show us the children that you rescued, Jason, right? And I don't know, maybe we can fingerprint those children and get some records to show where they were abducted from, right? Of course he's not going to do that. He's not going to show us the children that they rescued, because the children that they rescued only exist in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. You can't. He doesn't have to give you proof. That's make-believe.
Been given exact details in regards to the exact numbers. I am also not at liberty to discuss where these children are being brought to, but I can assure you that they are in a safe place.
Oh, okay, great. They're
the
safe.
Focus of both of these
What do you mean they're in a safe place? What if they were abducted and they have families? Wouldn't you return the children to their families? Not Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. You just take them to a safe place, right? Folks, if this was real, wouldn't it be on every major news network? Somebody found mole children kept in cages, harvested for their adrenochrome in tunnels under Washington, D.C.? Not Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. Only he knows about this, right? All the journalists in the world got it wrong. They didn't know about those secret tunnels under Washington, D.C. and Maryland, but Jason Shurka did, thanks to his alien friends, super secret society friends that were, reincarnated 69 times. He knows about it, but nobody else knows about this.
Operations was to deprive certain individuals and organizations with malicious intentions of their power through taking, and in some cases even destroying, the resources that give them their power in the first place, such as money, gold, diamonds, and silver, but mainly gold. High-class and non-conventional energy weapons were also seized throughout the operations, mainly weapons that work through very advanced laser technology using electromagnetic laser pulsation.
I agree with you, David James.
LP. Lastly, chemicals were seized and destroyed as well, such as the infamous adrenochrome that is produced in these dark and horrid places for very malicious purposes.
All right, great. So Jason Shurka is saying that they got to the adrenochrome and destroyed it. Well, gee, wouldn't you take samples of it and prove to the world that this whole adrenochrome conspiracy is real? Wouldn't that do more to help your cause as, some sort of guru that has access to secret information? I mean, after all, if you could show samples of adrenochrome and prove its existence and show where you got it, right? Maybe talk a little bit about the process of how it's harvested and then prove what it does to people who consume it, you would be an overnight multimillionaire, right? You'd be on all the talk shows, you'd be on everything, you'd be on media everywhere, being able to prove that conspiracy theory is actually true. But what do they do with the adrenochrome? Nothing. They don't show it to anybody. They don't take it to authorities. They don't take it to scientists. No, of course not.
For anyone who may be wondering, the underground train system I've spoken about in the past, along with trucks, were used for transportation purposes throughout these operations and missions. And for anyone who may be wondering how TLS manages to take over the train system, which is operated by these malicious organizations, without going into too much detail, they often use a method called transducing. Once again, the
Great, made up scientific terms, and he's going to repeat it.
name of that method is called transducing, in order to successfully execute their missions. This method is the name of one of the chapters in Rays of Light, as outlined in the table of contents that I shared with all of you on January 31st of 2020.
So while you're pushing your fake fairy tale story about mole children, you got to push buy my book. Buy my book.
The same day that the most recent TLS mission update was released. Overall, and as I've already mentioned, both of these operations in Washington, D.C. and Maryland came to an end at the end of March. And once again, they were executed and completed successfully. For the time being,
great, they saved the mole children. This story in the land of Jason Shurka's make-believe has a happy ending.
I do not have any other information to share with all of you, and I do not know when the next update will be given to me, as I don't receive information on a consistent basis. I can assure you all that the moment I do have more information, to whatever capacity that may be, I will share it with all of you. Thank you.
Great. And by the way, his channel is not just filled with ads. All the ads on his channel are Gaia TV ads. Take from that what you will, but most people that have a brain in their head realize that Gaia TV is not exactly a source of accurate, factual information. They have nothing. Their information has no value. So good for Jason Shurka. He's going to be the new star of the bullshit network, essentially. But he's well qualified. I mean, he's on his way to becoming, I don't know. What is he on his way to becoming? He's on his way to becoming one of the other burned out losers that make shit up on Gaia TV. Look at them all, Jason. They're all on drugs, addicted to alcohol. They have problems with women. This is not going to go well for you. That's my prediction. It seems like Gaia gets these guys that are willing to tell fake stories, and then they burn them out, and a lot of them become addicted to alcohol and drugs because I guess they got to, I don't know, live with themselves, telling fairy tales every day. This is Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. Now, we do have one final video of his to share. This is kind of a separate story from Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, and that is that ETs are among us. And I love this video because he talks about truth, and then he shares Jeremy Corbell's fake video as proof that the bullshit that he says is true. Great logic. 1 second, folks. Let me just get this queued up. All right, I'm going to cite fair use once again. We're going to share a final video. Then I'll have some time for interaction and talking to the live chat. This video is titled ETs Are Among Us. Let's get into it, friends. Jason Shurka says ETs are among us.
On September 9th, 2020, at exactly 9 a.m. Eastern Time, I released a document called the Pyramid Code. And on page 30 of the English version of the Pyramid Code, it says the following. Even today, there are spaceships that exist in the shape of pyramids, exactly how I've described them here. Spaceships exist in many shapes and styles, such as pyramids, cylinders, saucers, flying triangles, and many other different shapes.
And again, this is information that can be found in just about any book on UFOs, but somehow he's got the super secret knowledge that only his super secret society knows. Okay, then why is what you just said in virtually every UFO book written?
Now, at the time, of course, there were skeptics, but have you heard the most recent news of what the Pentagon has validated? Have you seen the footage of the pyramid-shaped UFOs hovering over Navy ships? And if you haven't, take a look at this.
Just a few days ago, the Pentagon confirmed that a 2019 video of a UFO sighting
I love it.
real.
I love it.
A UFO.
So Jason Shurka is citing another UFO profiteer con artist in the form of Jeremy Corbell saying, see, look at this pyramid UFO. I wrote about some UFOs, some spaceships are pyramids. So my BS must be true because another BS guy has this video. And Jason Shurka, I just want to say, you're really living in the land of make-believe, bro. Because unless you're going to tell me that alien spacecraft have the same exact timing signature as airplane FAA lights, this video is fake. It's not a UFO. It's not a spacecraft, Jason. It's an airplane that was taken through a night vision monocular and a cell phone. And I just want to say, Jason Shurka, your daddy's rich. You got money. Go, Jason. Go buy a night vision monocular, one that you can change the aperture setting. Set the aperture so that you can see the aperture is triangle shaped. Then go near an airport and take video through that monocular with your phone of any airplane at night. You're going to see the exact same thing that we see in this video, complete with the same time signature flashing FAA lights. Jason Shurka believes, I suppose, that aliens have the same lights as earthbound FAA requires all airplanes to have. Sure, Jason. We are in the land of Jason Shurka.
The video shows a pyramid-shaped object flying over a U.S. Navy destroyer. This is the very first time the public has seen video from this incident.
You see, what we're experiencing right now is real.
He says what we're experiencing right now is real. Right after he shows us a fake video of an alien spacecraft that's not an alien spacecraft, but actually an airplane. Great. It's real, except you just showed us something that was fake. You're trying to tell us that this is real while you're showing us fake shit, Jason Shurka. You need to get better at this, bro. You know what you need? You need somebody that's more skeptical, that will go over your content before you put drivel like this out on the internet and look like a complete and total idiot. Because you look stupid here and childish, showing people fake shit, trying to say it's real. This is garbage, Jason.
Extraterrestrial life used to be this thing of Hollywood. And in many ways, Hollywood portrayed them as beings that they're not. In many cases, evil beings who are here to abduct and invade us. This is real. Not in the way that they're being conveyed.
This is real.
Not in the way.
It's real in Jason Shurka's land of make-believe.
Those are clearly autonomous aircraft of some kind that are, as you put it, swarming U.S. military craft.
UFOs swarming our warships. It wasn't just one pyramid-shaped craft. It was multiple. These were swarms.
This must have scared the crap out of the U.S. military. I mean, their job is to defend the country and themselves, and here these aircraft violate their airspace quickly.
On June 1st of 2021, it's a big day, specifically in regards to extraterrestrial life and their technology, because the Pentagon has agreed to come out and release the information that they have.
Yeah, we see how well that worked out. Big nothing burger.
In regards to extraterrestrial life and technology.
No, they didn't release everything they know about extraterrestrial life and technology. They released a preliminary report about UFOs that was largely a nothing burger. But this did not stop New Age, UFO, con artists, grifters like you from claiming that there was going to be all kinds of information in that report about aliens and extraterrestrials. There was nothing. They did not even use the word extraterrestrials in that report.
Now, what they're going to share that day, I have no idea. But one of the main reasons I'm making this video right now is to emphasize the fact that they're not here to hurt us. And when I say they, we're talking about the extraterrestrial life. They are here.
Yeah, Mr. New Age Guru thinks that all the aliens are space brothers. They're going to help us.
To assimilate with us. They are here to live in harmony with us. These beings operate at a very high level of awareness, at a very high level of consciousness, one in the resonance of unity, one in the resonance of peace and love and compassion. And it's important that
Sounds
we know
good.
that, because moving forward, there may be a whole lot of confusion there may be a whole lot of deception and misleading.
He's saying there may be a whole lot of deception and misleading as he's showing us a fake video of a UFO that's not a UFO, not an alien spacecraft, and he's saying there will be deception while he's deceiving people. Jason Shurka, you need to get better at this, bro. You need a writer or something. Hire a good writer to make up your fake shit, because you're not doing a good job writing this shit yourself. You look foolish and childish here. It's kind of funny and hypocritical. He's saying there's going to be all this deception while he's showing people a completely deceptive video claimed to be a UFO that's not. Great.
From the authorities to us, the people, the masses. And we must be sure to remember that these beings are not here to hurt us. They're not here to invade us. If they were, they would have already have.
Well, that's good news.
They're going to help us.
They're going to help us.
They're here to unite with us. And so long as we can hold that knowingness in our state of consciousness, the experience of assimilation of these beings moving forward will be a whole lot easier. So let's welcome them, because they are our brothers and sisters.
Our space brothers. Those are our space brothers. Anybody that subscribes to the belief that all these absolutist statements bother me. Stephen Greer does this as well. Stephen Greer claims that all aliens are benevolent. All of them. And I just want to say that that is ridiculous. I mean, what are the odds, right, that every single alien species is benevolent? There's no hostile ones? Really? Explain abductions. Oh, Greer does explain abductions. That's not aliens. Those are humans faking alien abductions. Sure. So, some land of make-believes have crossovers here, right? Like Jason Shurka's land of make-believe is kind of similar to Stephen Greer's land of make-believe in some ways, right? Well, I don't know about that, Steve. He's on the grift. Yeah, David James says this guy is the ultimate deception. Yes. And I should mention that I'm going to try to do some more early shows. YouTube algorithm really does like consistency, so we try to do it at the same time today, 1 p.m. Eastern time, that we did it yesterday. So any comments or questions for me, put them in the live chat. I'm devoting my full attention to you guys for just a little while, and then I got to roll on out of here. But I hope you enjoyed our ride into Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. He's not just a rich board guy. He's going to save those mole children, him and his organization. And he's going to raise the consciousness of the entire planet, right? And his guest is going to tell you that you can cure autism with camel milk and essential oils. Great. And by the way, I challenged Jason Shurka to come to my home for a weekend and spend some time with my autistic son. And I told him to bring some camel milk and essential oils. And I'm going to tell him what garbage. I'm going to show him. I could show him what garbage his guests, what disinformation, what medical fakery and fraudery. Literally, he's hosting people that are selling desperate people with autism or with families affected by autism, children with autism. He's platforming somebody who's selling literal snake oil to people. But he is love and light. He's a spiritual guru. While he's helping people profit from the desperation of desperate people who are at their wits' end dealing with chronic illness and disease like autism. Good for you. Very, very love and light and spiritual. Really. And I think there is some interesting psychological aspects to these people who want to live in the land of make-believe. For the land of make-believe cult leader like Jason Shurka, it feeds his ego. He's important. He's special. He's saving Earth, right? And he gets all this attention from his stupid followers. And I suppose they have their own psychological void being filled. They're in on all this secret information that nobody else knows about. Maybe, just maybe, those people need to consider that nobody knows about this because he's making this shit up. Bobby Dogstone is here. The whole TTSA thing is weird shit. Is like, you got to say the aliens are either good or bad. Yeah, it's one or the other. I think my theory is that if there are aliens, multiple species of aliens out there, then I would think that some of them would be peaceful, right? And some of them are going to be hostile and warlike, just like us. If life happens in other worlds and evolves in other worlds as it has here, then a lot of people may think we're all from the same stuff, this DNA or whatever. But the chance, it stands to reason that there will be other human-like species. And would they only share our good qualities, or would they share our negative qualities as well? I believe that there are good species and evil species, or more like aggressive, hostile aliens. That's my take on it. And I think that's, the safe way to go about it is to, just like you shouldn't, I suppose, judge someone by their ethnic background or race. I don't think that we should judge aliens on anything other than how they treat us, how they interact with us, right? The Sixth Sense says JFK Jr. is trending on Twitter again. Oh no. Yes, I love that. Yeah, great point, Moose 1911. So he blames secret societies and groups for doing these things while he is in a secret society. Sure. But he's in the good Moose, he's in the welcome to Jason Shurka's land of make believe. He's in the good guy secret society, and those other secret societies that are harvesting the adrenochrome and torturing children are the bad guy secret society. You got to have a protagonist and an antagonist in any good con, right? And the conners are always the good guys. I always love that. They're conning people out of money for fake information. Fake information like you can cure autism with camel milk and essential oils. He's got that behind a paywall, so there's that. But he's the good guys. Jason, would a good guy sell people snake oil to cure autism or reverse autism? I don't think a good person would do that, and you're doing exactly that. So maybe you need some rebranding, right? Maybe you need to clarify your super secret society stuff, right? I'm waiting for Jason Shurka to get his superpowers too. These guys always get superpowers. If they don't start out with them, eventually they get them. He's going to start, I'm telling you, he's going to start talking about telekinesis and remote viewing, right? He's going to get some superpowers because he's special. I think all these freaks we are seeing are all from the same stable. Yeah, Gaia TV, largely, a lot of them are, Gaia TV is a stable for these new age nutters, right? And I have to just mention that I'm going to finish reading this pyramid code, I'm going to finish listening to it again, but this time I'm going to take notes. I've listened to the whole thing, but I wasn't able to take notes. So now I've got to listen to this again. So I'm not very happy that I have to put another couple of hours into listening to that thing, but I'm gonna, because we're gonna cover it, because I found some interesting things in his so-called pyramid code things, complete and total inaccuracies and inconsistencies. For example, he says that the Jews, the writer of this book says that the Jews did not wander in Egypt for 40 years, but for 3. Sorry, there's no proof of that. Ask any Jewish scholar or Torah expert, all of them are going to tell you that they wandered in the desert for 40 years. So there's this strange system that these New Age conners use. They make claims that go against every expert in the field they're making the claim in, but we're expected to believe that every religious scholar, every biblical scholar, every biblical historian, every expert on the Torah, every expert on Jewish history, all of them are wrong. And Jason Shurka and his secret organization are correct. And I just want to say, Jason, think about that. That is ridiculous. You really expect everybody to believe that some guy who was reincarnated 69 times and wrote this book is right about the Jewish Exodus and every other expert is wrong? I don't even know what to do with that. But we're going to cover that after I finish the digesting of it. Yes, maybe I think Ellen Holt is here. Shout out to Ellen Holt. The David Wilcock School of Performing Art. Yeah, absolutely, Ellen Holt. He took so much from the David Wilcock bullshit playbook. I think he studied. What I believe is that he studied Corey Good, he studied David Wilcock, he studied David Icke, and others that have grifted and conned people for lots of money successfully, and he's modeling himself after them. He's also trying desperately to get himself a big tent. And what do I mean by that? He wants to roll in the Trumpers. He wants to roll in New Age people under his tent. He wants to get the UFO and the alien people. He wants people that are interested in, health and nutrition. He's got to roll that in. And by the way, on the subject of being a good guy, Jason Shurka's got advice on overcoming addictions. I just want to say, I guess it's okay to recount a personal experience or try to offer advice to people, but you're a public figure, Jason, and you are not an addictions counselor or specialist. So maybe you should leave that to experts, right? Maybe you should leave how to overcome addictions to addiction experts. But we see this time and time again. These guys have huge egos, and they all are experts on everything. So far, Jason Shurka is an expert on Egyptian history, Jewish history, on how to cure autism, right? And holistic treatments for autism, on what causes he's an expert on what causes autism. He's an expert on the current health crisis. He's an expert on health and nutrition. He's an expert on meditation, right? How can you be an expert in all those things, Jason? Pick a lane, right? Pick a lane, bro. But we see this time and time again. We've seen it with Corey Good. Corey Good wanted to fold in the letter of the alphabet conspiracy to get his tent bigger. They all want the biggest tent possible, so they have the biggest pool of potential victims to take money from. Another troubling thing that he probably learned from David Wilcock is, I believe that one of his the Academy of Divine Knowledge or something like that is a nonprofit. So he's not paying taxes on any of the money that he's collecting for that nonprofit. And what is his nonprofit? What charitable things is this nonprofit doing? Now, I used to work with children. And when I was doing magic shows, I did stage magic shows and all kinds of events. But I made it a point that I went to a children's hospital once a month and just did a free show for the children. So in his defense, I did see that he did some work with children at some academy. But other than that, if it is a nonprofit charity that he's running, the only thing that he's doing that he considers charitable is sharing forbidden knowledge and information with people. Information like how to reverse autism with camel milk and essential oils, or information from Judy Makovitz, about the current health crisis. He's taking money from people for a charity, and then he's giving them fake, false information, and he considers that a charitable act. But welcome to Jason Shurka's Land of Make-Believe. Here we are, friends. Just another group of people to reel in with the curing autism thing. Yeah, and as the father of an autistic child, I take offense to anybody peddling snake oil that is purported to either reverse or cure autism. Anybody can look up that book, by the way. And I'm also, this situation with Jason hosting that person made me angry, because the person who's claiming that you can cure autism with camel milk and essential oils book is on Amazon. And so as a public service to the autism community, I'm going to be reaching out to Amazon's public relations department, and I'm going to ask them, why is it okay for them to help someone sell a book with a fake cure for autism in it? I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I just wanted to mention that that's something that I'm going to do. And hey, Jason, you wanted me to do more research, right? I'm doing more research. So we're going to contact Amazon and ask them why the guest that you're hosting behind your paywall, telling people you can cure people with autism with literally snake oil, with camel milk and essential oils. We're going to contact Amazon and find out why she's allowed to sell a book with a fake cure for autism in it on Amazon.com. So you're welcome. You wanted me to do more research. One of the other things that I found interesting is that Mr. Shurka's father is the owner of a very successful commercial real estate. So he made a point in his long-winded reply to my last video to say that, his family's so wealthy, they don't need the money. Then why don't you do all this for free, Jason? Why don't you just do it for free? You're saving the world. You don't need any money. Your daddy's a millionaire. Just take some of daddy's millions and, save the world. Why are you always pumping stuff that's behind a paywall, right? It's just another group of people. Intel Lady is here. Yes, just another group of people to reel in. I agree. And I'm offended as a father of an autistic child that he would be stupid enough to host somebody talking that kind of nonsense. And he has no defense. And by the way, he admitted in his reply to my last video that he has, and this is what I wanted. I wanted him to admit it. He has absolutely no evidence or proof of anything that he talks about. And he admitted it in writing, that he has absolutely no evidence or proof of anything that he talks about. And, I, for one, applaud him for at least being willing to admit that he's got nothing. He's got nothing, friends. He's got no evidence, no proof. You're just supposed to take it on faith. And, I'm sorry. I'm not taking that on faith. I'm trying to find, I'm trying to find the reply, which I'll read. And to his credit, he did apologize for me about the glasses. He said, for starters, let me apologize for saying what I said about the glasses, as I wasn't aware you had a paralyzed eye. I am wishing you well and only health. He's really, zoning into the love and light guru in this message. Regarding my proof, you are absolutely correct. I don't have any definitive proof I can show you. And that is something I knew going into all of this. That is precisely why the man who actually wrote the Pyramid Code didn't want to come out with it himself, because he was afraid of what people would say. However, I have some personal experiences that give me all the proof I needed. And I personally feel that holding all of it to myself out of fear of what others would say is wrong. So although I can't show you what you call proof, I will never let that stop me from sharing an important message. Just remember one thing, Stephen. My goal is not to convince or persuade, but simply to share and spread awareness. Regarding the individuals I hosted on my platform, I find them to be very knowledgeable. Really, Jason Shurka, you find somebody that's telling people you can cure autism with camel milk and essential oils knowledgeable? And after having in-depth conversations with them and learning a lot, I respect your opinion. However, I don't share it. And by the way, it's okay for us to disagree. But disagreeing and disrespecting are two different things. Then he goes on to say he's sorry to hear about my son. And if you haven't tried a holistic approach, I'd be happy to connect you with some doctors who may help. Yeah, so there we are. He admits that he has absolutely no proof for anything he talks about. Great. Then how is it? Come on, Jason. You're collecting money for a charity and then you're hosting these crackpots behind a paywall. How is that a charitable act? Right? Can we see the accounting, right? How much money you've collected? Oh, we can. If I have to do some more checking. Hey, Jason Shurka, you asked me to do the research, so I'm going to do the research. If he has a charitable organization, he has to file a 990 form. And we can all find out how much money he collected and what he did with it. Great. Jason Shurka wanted me to do some more research, so here we are. We're going to research Jason Shurka's finances for his charitable organization now. I think I'm not sure that he's going to enjoy that, though. But I will, because I believe that every public charity, they have a legal responsibility to show people how much money they're collecting and what they did with it all. It's part of the deal. To be a charity, you have to be willing to do that. Yes. And, yeah. Oh, there's one final point I want to make out of Jason Shurka's Land of Make-Believe. So this is a brilliant scam. He has a book that he's giving you for free called The Pyramid Code, right? And it's a bunch of New Age gobbledygook written by somebody who claims that they were reincarnated 69 times. But one of the things that I found extremely interesting as far as a con or a scam perspective goes is he'll give you the pyramid code book, right? But there's secret code that you need in order to decode the information within the pyramid code book. In other words, he says in the book, they say in the book, without the key, no human on earth can truly comprehend, utilize, or understand the advanced information contained in the pyramid code book. But the super secret society wanted this person to write and publish the book anyway, with Jason Shurka's help, right? So from a scam perspective, this is brilliant because here's the book, it's free, but you're going to need a secret decoder ring. That's right. In Jason Shurka's land of make-believe, he gives you the book for free, but you can't fully understand the information in the book and utilize it and put it to work unless you got Jason Shurka's secret decoder ring. But nobody's got the secret decoder ring. I believe that even Jason does not claim to be in possession of the secret decoder ring, right? And I'm kidding. It's not a decoder ring, but you need a secret decoder ring to understand the super secret society book that Jason Shurka put out. You need a secret decoder ring. So I don't know, Jason. Can I get the secret decoder ring in like a box of children's cereal? How does this work? Here's what I believe. I believe that it is a clever scam. You need the codes. You need the keys to understand this. Who is going to be the only person that will be able to grant you access to the full and total knowledge of this great spiritual work? It's going to be Jason Shurka. Pay me for my Q&As, pay me to get behind my paywall, and I'll drop some of the information that you can only get with the secret decoder ring every so often. It's a brilliant scam. He's giving you the book for free, but you need to pay him in order to be able to get him to use the secret decoder ring to tell you what's really, the super secretness. The super secretist stuff in the book. Only Jason Shurka knows because he's got the key or the decoder ring or whatever. This is Jason Shurka, but this is Jason Shurka's land of make-believe. Great. Bobby Dogstone says 69 times. Hell, man, I was reincarnated 420 times. Yeah, great. So, friends, this is going to be another one of our early shows. I am going to bounce out of here. And 1 second. I just want to check one thing before I do that. Before I do, 1 second. Yeah, so, and I apologize if you're hearing a hum in the room, but I've mentioned this before. Unfortunately, it's so incredibly hot in here, I can't sit in here without having that air blasting. So, I'm working on seeing if I can filter some of that out with a plug-in for the audio podcast. If not, I apologize. It'll only be another month, and that'll be cool enough in here that I won't need it. And I certainly will only use it when I absolutely positively need it. But we're in the middle of a heat wave here at my home, so it is what it is. Blue Slinger says, one does not simply decode the pyramids. Yeah, that's another thing. Jason Shurka's got all the answers. Not only is he an expert on all these things, but he knows why the pyramids were built and who built them. He knows all about the pharaohs, the alien pharaohs and where they came from, what star system. He's got all the answers what happens after death, reincarnation. He's got all the answers, Blue Slinger. Just sign up, get behind my paywall. And, he corrected me and then chastised me for being critical of him putting all this stuff behind a paywall because I was saying, hey, you can support me on Patreon. My Patreon's $1, Jason. And by the way, he offered me a free membership. Listen, I'll take it, Jason, but you don't want to give it to me because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take notes and I'm going to make you look like an ass clown, bro, for hosting some of these nutters that you host. But if you still want to give me the free membership, I'll take it and I'll do that. I will go in there behind your paywall. I won't share any of the videos or audio, but I'll make a lot of notes about what people are saying behind your paywall. And then you're going to have a public relations nightmare to deal with, I assume. But you offered me a free membership. Give it to me, Jason. You can send it to truthseekershow@gmail.com. That's all one word, truthseekershow. The email is my email, truthseekershow@gmail.com, is in the description of this video. So send me my free membership. You offered, right? He doesn't want me to have a membership. He doesn't want me in there listening to this shit. Because I hear the stuff behind the paywall is where it goes cuckoo crazy town. So I may buy it if he doesn't give it to me, just so that we can see what's in cuckoo crazy town of Jason Shurka's Land of Make-Believe. Bobby says, keep up the good work. Love your stuff. Good. Glad to hear it. All right. So listen, I'm always happy when there's an audience, friends, especially this was an unplanned, I got to get better at this. From now on, I'm going to try this week. We're trying some new things. I'm trying to do a 1 p.m. show and then an 8 p.m. show. And we're just gauging things to see if there's enough demand there. Today's attendance was pretty low, but that's my fault because I just realized I didn't even tweet this out. I did not tweet it out before the show, not during the show. I'm a terrible show host. But we're trying to improve here. Baby steps in trying to improve. I want to remind everybody, you can support us on Patreon for $1 a month. You can send a PayPal donation. It's in the, how to do that is in the description of this video, and there's a link in the About section. Or you can send us a super chat. The other great way to support us is to please do like, comment, and subscribe. Send some of our video links to your friends. Share the channel link. This really does help. We're just shy of 2,000 subscribers. And by the way, I built this channel from nothing in the past year. I'm very proud of our progress. But, I get a little bitter sometimes because, first of all, I'm handicapped. I just happen to see that Beyond Mystic, which is a YouTube channel that hosts every nutter in the universe, every nutter talking about crazy, untrue, stupid shit. Nutters like Cliff High, he's on there. So there's a channel that's been deleted from YouTube 2 times, right? And the guy just makes a new channel, and he just got deleted like a few weeks ago, and he's up to 13,000 subscribers again. But we here are handicapped because we can't just give people fake stories and fake information and have fake people come on here and talk about fake things. So, I've got some crutches to overcome, right? And I love when some of these con channels, they talk down to me, like, well, you only got this many, and I've got 5 times your subscribers. Well, you did it by lying to people, bro. We're not lying to anybody here. So there's nothing I could do. We're just doing the best that we can trying to expand the channel. So sharing this stuff on your social media, sending it to a few friends, posting our channel link, and telling your friends to subscribe really does help. And I see the retweets. I see people sharing stuff on Facebook. And you have my gratitude for every one of you that are helping us to expand the show. All right. So like I said, friends, always happy when there's an audience. Thank you for coming here and being a part of mine. I will be back for a fun, I hope it's going to be a fun, evening show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Like I said, we're trying something new here. I'm not sure if this is going to work or work out, but we're trying to see if there is enough demand for an increased schedule. But what I don't want to happen is to do twice as many shows for the same number of views and participants that I would get in one, So people have asked me for more shows. We're going to try that. So until next time, friends, I normally say good night. I got to remember not to do that. Until next time, friends, good afternoon, and God bless you.